Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for this webinar on Big Data Analytics. I thank Lord Almighty for this auspicious day and this event to happen. I like to welcome Dr. S. Glitas Babu, our chairman, who is behind all this type of activities happening in Francis Xavier Engineering College. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Jaykumar, our General Manager Development, who has been constantly supporting this type of webinars in our college. It's my gratitude to welcome Dr. Velmurugan sir, who is behind the success of this type of webinars. It's my pleasure to invite Mr. Krishna Kumar sir, Director of Special Labs, who has been taking initiatives in initiating the webinars based on special labs. It's my immense pleasure to invite Professor Brinda ma'am, our HOD CSE department, who has been right from the beginning arranging this type of webinars. At last, I like to welcome, and it's my privilege to welcome Dr. E. Manohar sir, Assistant Professor, Francis Xavier Engineering College, who is from our department, and I feel proud that he is a resource person for this webinar. I welcome you all the participants once again, and now I request Ms. Valgamadi ma'am, Department of Computer Science, to give an introduction about our resource person, Dr. E. Manohar sir.
It's my great pleasure to introduce today's resource person, Dr. E. Manohar, Assistant Professor, Computer Science and Engineering in Francis Xavier Engineering College, Tirunelveli. He did his UG degree BE Computer Science and Engineering in Francis Xavier Engineering College and ME in Francis Xavier Engineering College, and he has completed his PhD degree in Anna University, Chennai. He has more than 11 years of teaching experience, and he has published various journals, and he has published in various conferences. He has published 35 journals and 40 international conferences, and he has published one book chapter. I really proud to introduce Dr. E. Manohar. He is one of the alumni of Francis Xavier Engineering College. He is the first batch alumni of Francis Xavier Engineering College. He is an eminent and an excellent person here with today to deliver the session on the topic Web Data Analytics. I hand over the session to Dr. E. Manohar.
Thank you, Valgamadi ma'am, for a brief introduction about our resource person. I now request our resource person, Dr. E. Manohar sir, to handle this session. Thank you, sir.
Good evening to you all. This is Manohar, signing from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Francis Xavier Engineering College. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Francis Xavier Engineering College, and my own behalf, I welcome you all to this webinar on Big Data Analytics. This is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this webinar. I hope that session will be a very useful session for you all. I will try to do justice for my work. I will try to teach from the ground to make you understand about the basics about big data analytics. In this session, we are going to study about data, data metrics, information, database, data warehouse, the difference between a database and a data warehouse, about big data analytics, the difference between data science and data analytics, and the different tools that are used in today's market regarding big data and big data analytics. I hope that this session will be very useful for you, and I hope that this session will be a thought-provoking session for you all. I hope that you people will enjoy this session. Let us move to the session. Thank you.
Okay, before going to learn about big data analytics, we will study about from the basics, that is data. Data is nothing but the collection of facts. So in simple way, we say data is called as collection of facts. If you say example for data means numbers, words, measurements, observations, or any description of things, these are called as data. As shown in the figure, the data may be some information about transport, some information about natural, some information about statistical, financial, scientific, or information about cultural, or information about geographical. It may be of anything. Okay. So Then in statistical language, the data can be characterized as quantitative as well as qualitative. Okay, so there are various way of representing data. So in statistical language, we can categorize it into qualitative as well as quantitative. So first we should know about what is qualitative. Qualitative data deals with characteristics and descriptors that cannot be easily measured, but can be observed subjectively, such as if you take qualitative means it may be a smell or a taste or a texture or an attractiveness or color. Where qualitative data deals with the new numbers and things that you cannot measure, that you can measure objectively. For example, if we take height, width, length, temperature, and humidity, these are all quantitative data. Okay, quantitative as well as qualitative. Okay. In statistical way, we can measure data. We can categorize data into four. That is nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, ratio data. Okay. So nominal data is named as nominal data because the nominal data can be separated into discrete categories. For example, if we can say it as gender, that is also a nominal data. Name, which is a nominal data. Phone number, which is a nominal data. Okay, these are all example for nominal data. Then ordinal data. So this is a categorical statistical data type where variables have natural order categories. For example, if you say the example for ordinal data means social economic status. For example, if you take low income, middle income, high income, this is socio-economic status. If we take another example, education level, high school level, middle school, high school, degree level. This is an example for educational level, which comes under ordinal data. Income level, that is another example for ordinal data. The income may be less than 50,000 or 50,000 to 1 lakh or over 1 lakh. Or satisfaction rating. This is also an ordinal data. Like, dislike, extremely like. These are all the various category under satisfaction rating. So these are all the example for ordinal data. Then we will move to study about interval data. So interval data, actually nominal data and ordinal data comes under qualitative, where interval data and ratio data comes under quantitative. Okay, quantitative. Okay, interval data includes actually interval data is nothing but it is the measurable value of numbers or numerical values. If we take interval data means, for example, if we take temperature, which is measured in Celsius or Fahrenheit, which is an interval data. Mark grading is another example for interval data. Okay, so these are all example for interval data. And finally, we study about ratio data, which have the same properties as interval data with an equal and definite ratio between each data. Okay, for example, if you measure a distance between two area, or if you measure an area, these are all ratio data. Okay, so these are the basic that we should know about data. Okay, okay. Then we will study about the measurement metrics, units of data. 1 bit of data, that is the basic. 1 bit is nothing but a 0 or an 1. A binary 0 or an binary 1. 1 bit, any one value, 0 or an 1. That is 1 bit. One nibble is called as 4 bit of data, which is called as 1 nibble. 8 bit of data is called as 1 byte. Okay, 8 bit. Okay, it may be an 80 or 81, an alternative of 0 and 1. That is 8 letters of binary value. Okay, then 1 kilobyte of data is equal to 1024 bytes of data. 1 megabyte of data is equal to 1024 kilobyte of data. 1 gigabyte of data is equal to 1024 megabytes of data. 1 terabyte of data is equal to 1024 gigabytes of data. 1 petabyte of data is equal to 1024 terabytes of data. So anything beyond 1 petabyte is called as big data. the size of the data, anything one beyond 1 petabyte is equal to big data. Okay, 1 exabyte is equal to 1024 petabytes of data. 1 zettabyte is equal to 1024 exabytes of data. 1 yottabyte is equal to 1024 zettabytes of data. So these are all the measurement metrics that is used to measure the data. Okay, so then we will study about information. So data is nothing but the raw collection of raw thing. Okay, so it is an unprocessed thing. It is a fact. Okay, information is nothing but the processed data. The processed data is called as information. When we compare data with information, data is nothing but raw, unorganized fact. The need is to be processed. Where information is the processed data. It is organized, structured presentation of some context or some useful information. Okay, so that is the difference between data and information. Data is a raw thing. Information is nothing but the processed data, which gives some meaning. Okay, that is called as information. Then we will move to next slide, that is database. So data is there, information is there. We have to store it in a procedured way. That we go for database. As given the definition, databases are structured to facilitate the storage, retrieval, modification, and deletion of data in conjunction with various data processing operations. The database is an organized collection of source structured data to make it easily accessible, manageable, and update. Okay, so there are some examples for various databases which are developed by various companies, various private organizations, various companies. Microsoft developed some database. Microsoft Access is there. Oracle database is there. There are various databases are there. There are so many databases in the world at present by various companies. MySQL is one, PostgreSQL, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, FileMake, Oracle, RDBMS, DBase, Clipper, and Foxconn. So these are all some examples of various company products. There are a huge number of databases are also there from various other companies. These are some of the companies database. Okay. So below is the architecture of database. The architectural figure represents the database the figure represents the database architecture. So the figure shows that there are various levels. The end user may be the client, or the end user may access through the internet. So the end user may access through the system or mobile. Okay. The end user access the database through some application program. There may be various application program which is called as external level. Then next one is the conceptual level, which is controlled by the database administrator. And final one is the internal level, that is the database, where we can store, update, modify, retrieve, and process the data. Okay, so this is all about database. Then we will move to the next one, that is data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse is nothing but the environment. So database is the place where we can store and retrieve data. So we can store a limited amount of data in a database, where if you want to store a huge amount of data, then we should go for data warehouse. So data warehouse is nothing but the environment of storing data. It is similar to database, but the environment is different. Here we are going to store the huge amount of data. Okay, so data warehouse is an electronic storage of large amount of information by business or organization. The below is the architectural diagram of data warehouse. Okay, the operational system is there, transaction database, cleaning transaction is there, data warehouse database is there, query tools is there, data mart, metadata, reporting tools. These are all there. First one, that is operational system. the system that is used to process the day-to-day transaction of an organization is called operation system. Okay. So these systems are designed in a manner of processing day-to-day transaction efficiently with integrity of transactional data. So there are various levels of that. Next, we should cleanse the data, that is pre-process the data. We should pre-process the data. We should remove the unwanted thing. We should eradicate the unnecessary redundant thing so that we can effectively store the data in the data warehouse database. Metadata. So metadata is nothing but a set of data that describes and give information about other data. It gives information about meaning of data. Data about data is called as metadata. And next is data mart. Data mart is called a subset of data warehouse for specific business line. Okay, it is a subset of data warehouse for specific business line. Then various reporting tool through which we can get information from the data warehouse. This is the generalized architecture of the data warehouse. Okay. So we studied about database, we studied about data warehouse. So both are almost similar in the way of storing data. The thing is that the environment is different. So that what given in this table, it describes about the operational database and the data warehouse. So the major difference is the operational database is usually used for current data, for day-to-day operations, where the data warehouse is usually used to store the historical data. Okay. So in operational database, we use online transaction processing, where in data warehouse we use online analytical processing. Operational database used to store a less number of data, where the data warehouse is used to store the large number of data. Okay. So these are the various difference between an operational database and a data warehouse. Okay. Then we will study about big data and the difference between big data and data warehouse. Okay. First, we will study about what is big data. Big data is nothing but huge volume of data that can be stored and processed. If the data size is large, then we call it as big data. Then we will study about the major difference between big data and data warehouse. So the major difference between big data and data warehouse is big data is nothing but the technology, where data warehouse is an environment to collect huge amount of data. Okay. So that is the major difference between big data and data warehouse. So the big data can store and manage large amount of data, where data warehouse is nothing but the architecture used to organize the data. The next difference between big data and data warehouse is this is one of the very important difference, that big data can input structured, unstructured and semi-structured data, where data warehouse can have only structured data as an input. So we will study about what is structured, what is unstructured, what is semi-structured in the upcoming topic. That is why we studied it in the characteristics of big data. So there are 5 characteristics of big data. 5V, we can say it as 5V. There we studied about what is structured, what is unstructured, and what is semi-structured. Okay. The next major difference between a big data and a data warehouse is big data. In big data, the data can be stored using distributed file system, where in data warehouse it does not use distributed file system. This is another major difference. The next major difference is the big data doesn't follow SQL queries. It's used to follow NoSQL, where the data warehouse used to follow SQL queries. Okay. The next major difference is Hadoop is one of the major framework that is used by the big data, where data warehouse cannot be used to handle enormous amount of data. Okay. So it can store enormous amount of data, but it cannot use to handle enormous amount of data. Okay. And the final difference is
The big data can be added and stored in the form of file, where we can directly add new data into the data warehouse. Okay, so next we will study about the various characteristics of big data. So the various characteristics of big data can be represented or can be described by using 5V. 5V in the sense, first V represents volume, second V represent variety, third V represent velocity, fourth V represent veracity, and fifth V represent value. So these are the 5V which represents that the data is a big data or not. First, we will study about volume. Volume is nothing but the size of the data, or we can also say it as the amount of data. Volume. This is one very important characteristics, because if the size of the data is large, we can able to say that this is a big data. Then we need big data technology to process that data. Okay. Then we will move on to the second characteristic, that is variety. Variety is nothing but the type of the data. So volume is size of the data, variety is type of the data. So there are three types of data. First one is structured data, second one is unstructured data, third one is semi-structured data. There are three types of data. So first we will learn about what is structured data. The similar data that is stored in the form of table is called as structured data. A table is shown where the column represents the attribute, where the row represents the tuple. There is some relationship between each attribute and other attribute. There may be relationship, there may not be relationship. So it is stored in the form of a structured way. That's why we call it as structured data. This is nothing but the relational table. Okay. Then we will study about the unstructured or semi-structured, unstructured data and semi-structured data. Okay. First, we will study about semi-structured. Semi-structured is the collection of both structured and unstructured data. Okay. So the semi-structured data may be represented by using XML file or an RDF file. If the file is an XML file or RDF file, then we can say that this data is a semi-structured data. If the data is represented by using table, then we will say that this is a structured data. Okay. Then we will study about unstructured data. The unstructured data does not have any predefined data model. So the unstructured data may be a text file, a server file, a website, application logs, emails, videos, audio file, image file, social media file, sensor data file, maybe collection of one or many or all those. So there will not be any structured format for storing this data. That is called as unstructured data. So there are three types of data: structured data, which is stored in the form of table; semi-structured data, which is stored in the form of XML file or RDF file; where unstructured data is the collection of variety of files, variety of different format files. Okay. So this comes under variety. There are three different types of data. Variety is the second characteristics in big data. Then we will study about the third characteristics, that is velocity. Velocity represents the speed of the data. So the data speed is very important in big data. So here below it shows some example about the speed. The data generated for every 50 seconds. For example, in Twitter, almost 5 lakh tweets per 50 second. Above 5 lakhs tweets per 50 seconds. There are more than 8 lakhs status updates, 8 lakhs plus status update, 12 lakhs plus instant updates, 7 lakhs something Google search, 28 lakhs emails, and 1820 TB data created every 50 seconds. Okay. So, and also 217 plus new mobile user. These all represents the speed of the data, velocity. The next one is veracity. It represents the accuracy and precise, or we can say it as verify and validate the data. Veracity. This is the fourth characteristics, and the final fifth characteristic is value. That is in total there are 5 V's. Value. Value is nothing but massive data. Vital of massive data is called as value. So in the sense we can say the data with no value, that is good to access the data. Okay, these are the various characteristics. Okay, next we will study about the big data architecture. So actually this webinar is all about big data analytics. So so far we studied about what is data, what is information, what is database, what is data warehouse, what is big data, what are the characteristics of big data. That are the things that we studied so far. So we will learn big data architecture, what are the various tools used in big data. After that we will study about the big data analytics. That we will see some of the tools that are very famous nowadays regarding big data analytics. Okay. So let us study about big data architecture. The figure represents the big data architecture. So there are various models in big data architecture. That is data source, data storage, real-time message ingestion, batch processing, machine learning, stream processing, analytical data store, analytics and reporting, orchestration. So these are the various models in big data architecture. First we will see about data source. So it is the complete location where big data is produced. So the complete location where big data is produced is called as data source. Next, data storage. The data storage is the location where large amount of data is stored in different format. Okay, that is data storage. Next model is real-time message ingestion. So in real-time message ingestion, the real-time message for streaming processing will be stored in the real-time message injection. Okay. Next model is stream processing. The stream process is processed once it arrives in the storage area. So this is the next model in big data architecture. And next model is batch processing. The purpose of batch processing is the batch processing process the block of data that have been stored. It process block of data. Okay. And next model is the analyze or reporting tool. So the analyze and reporting tool is used to analyze the data which is achieved using business intelligence tools. So that is analyze and reporting tool. And I think I missed some models. Orchestration. So it is the data processing operation which encapsulate to workflows to convert the source code and move them into multiple sources and destination and load the data. Okay. So while saying as an example for orchestration, there are various softwares are there. Azure Data Factory is one of the example, Apache, OZ, and Cube. These are the example for orchestration softwares. Okay. So this is all about the big data architecture. Okay. So next we will study about big data analytic phase. Okay, that we may study a little later. Before that, we should study about various things. Big data analytical tools. Okay, big data analytical tools. So these are the various tools which are there in big data. So various tools means big data consists of various process. It consists of collection phase. It consists of storage phase. It consists of filtering and data extraction phase. It consists of cleaning phase. It consists of analysis phase. It consists of visualization phase. So there are various phases in big data. Various phases. Okay. So for every phase, there are huge number of software by different companies. For example, if you take collection phase, there are various tools. Opinion Crawl is one of the tool. Semantria is another tool from another company. OpenText is another tool. TrackWare is another tool. So these are some of the tools which is used to collect data for the big data. That is data source. Okay, that is data source which used to collect the data from the data source. Okay, and there are some of the tools which are used to store the data. For example, there are various tools such as MongoDB, CoachDB, Cassandra, Hadoop database, Oracle, where MongoDB is a NoSQL database which support big data, which is mostly used in big data, used by big data people. Okay, MongoDB, Coach. These are the various storage phase tools in big data. Then we will study about the filtering and data extraction phase. We should extract data. Okay, for that we can use various tools such as Octo, Phrase, Mozilla, Fraser Hub, Context Grabber. These are some of the tools for to filter and extract the data. And the next phase in data, big data, is cleansing phase. In cleansing phase also there are various tools. Cleansing phase in the sense pre-processing or cleansing the data, removing unwanted things. Okay, Tobacco Clarity, WinPhrase, Data Cleaner, Refiner, Data Ladder are some of the tools to cleanse the data. Okay, and next we will look at the analysis phase. There are various tools in analysis phase too. That is Data Wrapper is one of the tool for analysis. Solver, Click, Tableau. Tableau is one of the very widely used tool. Google Fusion, Gephi. So these are the analysis tools. This is what we are going to study. These are some of the tools that we are going to study. That is big data analytical tools. Okay. Then visualization tool. The analyzed data should be represented in form of report. Okay. Visualized report tool, visualization phase tool. That is Trimi, OpenRefine, Vega is one of the tool, RapidMiner, Pentaho, and R programming. These are some of the tools to visualize the data in big data processing. Okay, there are some of the tools. Hadoop, MongoDB. Hadoop is a framework. Cassandra, Drill that we studied was Storm. So these are some of the famous tools in big data. Big data, not big data analytics. Big data. Okay. So we will go through some of the advantages and disadvantages. Before that, we may study about Hadoop. Hadoop is one of the important thing comes under big data. So why we are saying that Hadoop is very important? Because big data is completely incomplete without Hadoop. Hadoop is an open source framework. Hadoop offers massive storage for all kinds of data. The Hadoop has its amazing processing power and the capability to handle innumerable tasks. So that is the major feature of the Hadoop. Hadoop is one of the important tool important framework that used by the big data. Next, MongoDB that already we studied. MongoDB can also able to handle semi and unstructured data. That is the main feature. Cassandra that we already go through it. So today Cisco, Netflix, Twitter are all using Cassandra. Drill, that is one open source framework that is also used in big data. Elasticsearch, one important tool. So open source enterprise search engine. It is licensed by Apache. So this is one thing used by big data. Then next one is hcatalog. hcatalog allows user to view data across all Hadoop cluster. And it even allows the tool like Hive and Pig for data processing. That's what hcatalog is used for. Then next tool is Wozi. Wozi is best workflow processing system. It device range of jobs returned or programmed across multiple languages. That is the specialty of Wozi. And finally, Storm. Storm actually supports real-time processing of unstructured data. It is reliable, it is fault-proof, and it is compatible with any programming languages. So Twitter owns this Storm. It is an open source framework. Okay. And we will go through some of the advantages and disadvantages of big data. So the major advantages of big data technology is it saves lots of memory. It detects patterns and anomalies. It provides better decision making. These are some of the advantages by using big data technology. Then what are the disadvantages? Everything have two ends, advantage as well as disadvantage. The major disadvantage is it is difficult in parsing and interpreting. So not only that, security and privacy is also a major challenge in big data. So here the lots of data are unstructured format. So it is difficult to handle that data. And also it needs to be analyzed for longer duration. These are some of the disadvantages of big data. Then we will go through some of the innovation through which we can output big data. Or for innovation, we can say massive parallel processing, MapReduce concept, NoSQL, Hadoop. So these are few innovation that outfit big data. First one, massive parallel processing, where the data is circulated among various hubs for quicker handling. So through parallel processing, so this can be achieved. Okay. The second thing is MapReduce. So the multi-nodes and parallel processing concept can be done through MapReduce. It consists of two functions. First one is map function, second one is reduce function. The map function is used to isolate data over hubs, which are then prepared in parallel, where the reduce function used to consolidate the outcome set into the last reaction. So the massive parallel processing uses SQL, where MapReduce uses Java. Okay. Then another thing, major thing that big data is having is NoSQL. So it is not like relational database, SQL database. It don't use SQL query. It is mainly used for unstructured data. That is NoSQL. And final thing, very important framework, that is Hadoop. It is an open source software. It is a framework for storing, processing big data in distributed manner. Okay. So these are few innovations through which we can outfit big data. Okay. And next we will learn about what do you mean by data science. So there are few terms: data science, data analytics, big data. So these are all new terms. Okay. So is data science and data analytics are same? No, it is not same. So data science is nothing but the combination of statistics, mathematics, programming, problem solving, capturing of data.
Okay. Its activity is cleansing, preparing, and aligning the data. So these are the activities of data science. Then we should know what is the major difference between a data science and a data analytics. So the difference between data science and data analytics is data science produces broader insights, where data analytics emphasizes discovering answer to question being asked. So data analytics is different from big data analytics, where big data analytics deals with huge amount of data using big data technology. Okay, so that is different. So here data analytics emphasizes on discovering answer to question being asked. Okay, so then we will go through the tools which is most commonly used by the data scientist. Who is the data scientist? The data scientist who processed and who discover useful information from the data. Okay, so the data scientist used to use various tools such as statistics and probability tools, R and Python programming. Tableau is one of the important tool, and Power BI for data visualization, and machine learning algorithms. These are the things: algorithms, tools, languages, and concept, statistical probability concept, which is used by the data scientist to discover various things by using the data. We should also know the difference between data analytics and big data. By using the big data, we can analyze in an easy sense how we can express the difference between a big data and a data analytics is: big data is nothing but a library, where data analytics is like a book. We can pick a book, we can shift through it to find answer to your question. This is the basic difference between a big data and a data analytics. Okay. So another difference is big data employs complex technologies like parallel computing and other automation tools to handle the big data, where data analytics use predictive and statistical modeling with relatively simple tools. Okay, so these are the major difference between big data analytics and big data. Okay, so first we will know about data analytics before we know about big data analytics. Data analytics is nothing but the process of inspecting, cleansing, transforming, and modeling data. The purpose behind doing this for operation, inspecting, cleansing, transforming, and modeling, is to discover useful information and to make good decisions. So these are the goals behind data analytics. Okay, so we should know about the various tools that are used to find data analytics. So again, we are using R programming, Python language is used, Tableau framework is used, SAS, RapidMiner, KNIME, QlikView, Splunk. So these are some of the tools used by the used in data analytics. Then we should know about big data analytics. Big data analytics is nothing but advanced analytical technique against very large device data set. So the big data analytics data may be structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data from different sources, and it may be of different size. So this is all about big data analytics. Then we will see about some of the best big data analytical tools which are used in market nowadays. So here there are some 13 tools: Tableau, Zogo Analytics, Splunk, SAS, Visual Analytics, Talent, Cassandra, Sisense, Spark, Flotty, Cloudera, Skytree, Elasticsearch, Lumify. So big data analytics is nothing but an advanced analytical technique in very large device data set. It may be a structured data, a semi-structured data, and an unstructured data from different source and different size. So
These are some of the software, some of the tools by different companies. I don't say these are the only tools. There are so many tools are there for big data analytics. These are some of the famous tools which is used in today's IT world. These are the top tools which is used in today's IT world. So we will go through these 13 tools, which is the core essence of this today's webinar. That is big data analytics webinar. Okay. So we will go through the tools one by one. First one, Tableau. So this is the screen of the Tableau. So Tableau is extremely powerful. Tableau has been around early days of big data analytics. So this is one of the oldest tool. So Tableau can handle any amount of data, no matter the size of the data. It has tons of smart features. It works at lightning speed. It is highly interactive and can even work on mobile device and share data through shared dashboards. So these are the various features about Tableau. So you can able to see the dashboard of your Tableau. Okay. So this is extremely powerful tool, widely used by big data analytic professions. This is one of the main tool in big data analytics. Okay. So then we will go through some of the pros and cons in Tableau. So everything have pros and cons. Okay. So we will go through some of the pros and cons in Tableau. The major advantage regarding Tableau is it is extremely flexible and it produces custom visualization report. And it has powerful engine. So it is extremely active user base. And the data query is possible without having the knowledge of the code. So these are the various pros regarding Tableau, and it has some cons, that is disadvantage. So the major disadvantage regarding Tableau is no built-in tool for migration. That is the major disadvantage in Tableau. Okay. So we have to go through various data analytical tools. Next we will go through next data analytical tool, that is Zogo Analytics. Okay. So the Zogo Analytics is another one of the important big data analytical tool. You can see the dashboard of the Zogo Analytical tool in the screen. This tool can handle everything from analytics to sales. This Zogo Analytic product is very affordable and offer tons of great features. So the major thing is this Zogo Analytica is also integrated with Google. It is valuable. It is extremely valuable data analysis report, and tons of great marketing campaigning tools are also available. So these are the various features of Zogo Analytics. The user interface of Zogo Analytics is pretty big. So these are the various things regarding Zogo Analytics. So this Zogo Analytics is one of the important big data analytical tool. It is widely used by various users. Okay. So we will also see about the various pros and cons regarding Zogo Analytics. Okay. So the major pros and cons regarding Zogo Analytics is up to 10 users are allowed in the free model. If you want to use the various feature with large amount of user, then you have to purchase it. It is not done freeware. That is the one of the thing regarding Zogo Analytics. So the major The major another advantage in Jogo Analytics is the reports are extremely detailed. That is one advantage. We can get an extremely detailed report through Jogo Analytics. It includes integration of other features like marketing tools. So these are the pros regarding Jogo Analytics. What are the cons? The workflow automation is limited in professional edition. If you go for Jogo Analytics, then you have to purchase for getting the full option. This is the third tool in big data analytics, which is widely used nowadays. Splunk. You can able to see the dashboard of Splunk in the screen. The Splunk can handle small, mid-sized and large data. So the Splunk is a single user license for 1,000 to 4,999 users through mobile devices, or you can use through cloud also. It can able to collect data, then it will index it. It can also analyze and report the data, and it use some very beautiful visualizing report. That is the major feature in Splunk. Okay, so it also allows you to customize your interface. That is also a major feature in Splunk. Okay, so we will quickly go through the pros and cons in Splunk. The Splunk is adaptable. Real-time monitoring of data is possible. Visual reporting and analysis are there. Customizable user interface will be there. So these are the pros and cons. Less well known. That is the major thing, cons regarding Splunk. Okay. Then we will quickly go through the next big data analytical tool, SAS Visual Analytics. You can able to, I hope that you can able to see the dashboard of SAS Visual Analytics. So this is one of the tool. It is easy to analyze the data through this SAS Visual Analytics. It is easy user interface. That is the major thing. It is great when it comes to creating visual display. That is one major feature. It is capable of data mining and statistical modeling. The predictive models can help with forecasting and estimation of risk through this SAS Visual Analytics. So we will also go through the pros and cons in SAS Visual Analytics. The SAS Visual Analytics is extremely fast, powerful, scalable, and it is capable of supporting large number of users simultaneously. We can also have the customizable portfolio. And what is the cons? It is less compatible with external sources. That is the major drawback regarding SAS Visual Analytics. Then we will quickly go through the next tool in big data analytics, that is Talent. Okay, so this is another tool. So you can, I hope that you can able to view the dashboard of Talent in the screen. So Talent is one of the great option for big data analytics. Why? In the sense, it is an open studio where it can able to handle tons and tons of data using a free license. Okay, it is a freeware. It uses NoSQL as well as Hadoop. You can use subscription license to handle the components and connection. It works with Spark and MapReduce. So this Talent platform offer email, phone and web support to licensed user. It also offers real-time data. We can connect with Spark streaming, IoT and machine learning. So this is one of the wonderful choice for big data analytics because it is a freeware open studio with lots and lots of features where it can be able to handle a huge amount of data. Talent. So Talent So we will quickly go through the pros and cons of talent. So the pros regarding talent is it is capable of handling multiple data sources. Next thing is it offers custom solution and its speed and scaling as well as Spark. The cons regarding talent is the customization is difficult. That is the cons regarding talent. Okay. We'll go through the next tool, that is Cassandra. You can able to see the Cassandra portfolio dashboard. Okay, I hope. So Cassandra is another free tool from Apache. It is an open source software. It can able to manage massive volumes of data. That is main thing. It has own Cassandra structured language to interact with the database. That is one major thing regarding Cassandra. And not only that, the Cassandra is picked by Facebook, American Express, Accenture, Yahoo, General Electric, Honeywell. All uses Cassandra as their tool. So the major challenge regarding Cassandra is troubleshooting and maintenance is little bit challenge. It take more effort for troubleshoot as well as it take more effort to maintain. Okay, next we will go through the pros and cons of Cassandra. The major pros regarding Cassandra is it handles massive amounts of data very quickly. And the storage is log structured and it has automated replication. That is the major pros regarding Cassandra, and the cons is no locking features is there in Cassandra. That is the major cons regarding this tool. So this is another big data analytical tool. We will go through the next big data analytical tool, that is Sysens. So you can able to view the dashboard of Sysens. This is one big data analytical tool. So the Sysens have a lot of very sense and business intelligence tool. Also, it has many comprehensive features. That is the main thing in Sysens. The Sysens tool also have web interface. This is the major thing regarding Sysens. We can quickly go through the pros and cons in Sysens. Okay. So the pros regarding it, bottlenecks are automatically resolved within the chip processing. That is important pros. And another one is compatible with third-party application, and it handles natural language query. It is more powerful tool. It is one of the powerful tool. Okay. The cons in Sysens is it is very steepy learning. It is frustrating to new users. If the familiar users can able to access Sysens very well, it is not user friendly. That is the major thing regarding Sysens. Okay, then next we will go through the next tool, that is Spark. Okay, so this is an open source tool. If the people want to go with the budget database or data analysis tool, then they may go with Spark. It is a product of Apache. It uses variety of different things like cleansing, transformation of data, building model, evaluation and scoring, and determining data science pipelines for production. This Spark has many features. So next we will go through the various pros and cons regarding Spark. So the Spark have beautiful application program interface. It is open source community, which is extremely helpful for a free tool. Very easy for transformation. The cons regarding Spark is lack of completeness. That is the major disadvantage regarding Spark. Next, we will go through the next big data analytic tool, that is Plotty. You can able to view some of the thing used in Plotty dashboard. Okay, the Plotty is most visual appealing data analytical tool. The Plotty is cloud based for data science and interpretation. You can modify, synthesize, and distribute your information graphically through Plotty. This Plotty uses a Python framework to run. This Plotty can handle scientific graphing libraries, Arduino, Python, REST, Perl, R, MATLAB, and Julia. So these are all compatible with Plotty. Okay. So the Plotty allow businesses to create their own data visualization platform. Okay, this is all about Plotty. So we will quickly go through the pros and cons regarding Plotty. The Plotty, that is plots and graphics to display data findings. The data is all backed up and saved to your account for storage and analysis. Not only that, it integrates with other services to generate even better plots automatically. So these are the various pros regarding Plotty. Some of the cons are limited API integration. That is one con regarding Plotty. Okay. Then we will go through the next big data analytical tool, that is Cloudra. That is next big data analytical tool. I hope that you can able to see the dashboard of Cloudra. This Cloudra is an open source tool. Is the best of category for data analysis. So this is completely free tool. This suits includes Apache Hadoop, Spark, Impala, and other great products and tools. Okay, so this licensing price is per node basis. Okay, so free version is also there, licensing version is also there for Cloudra. Entirely scalable and storage with real-time access to read and write. So these are the features of Cloudra. We shall go through the pros and cons of Cloudra. Okay. So the Cloudra is extremely high secure and governance. The distribution is easy, the administration is simple, and it is less complex. These are the pros regarding Cloudra. The cons are confusion due to multiple approach. Okay. So Cloudra is one of the important tool in big data analytics used nowadays by many users. Okay. The next tool is Skytree. I hope you can able to view the dashboard of Skytree. This is another data analytical tool. It allows user and data scientists to create extremely accurate model very quickly. So this Skytree uses predictive machine learning models. The algorithm used in Skytree are very scalable. It employs machine learning techniques that allows artificial intelligence to learn and communicate with the data scientist. So this Skytree platform are specifically designed to handle very complicated problems. So this is all about Skytree. We will go through the pros and cons regarding Skytree. The Skytree artificial intelligence lands offers insights, and it is easily able to solve difficult predictive problem, and we can easily to interact with guide. That is graphics user interface, and it have the capability with interactive models. So these are some of the pros regarding Skytree. And regarding cons, it is little difficult for the beginner user. That is the major con regarding Skytree. And next big data analytical tool, that is one important tool, that is Elasticsearch. You can be able to find the dashboard of Elasticsearch in the screen. This is another open source option. This Elasticsearch works across multiple platforms and can distribute data easily. So lots of people don't like open source software because it is difficult to follow when there is no one to call for technical support. But Elasticsearch is not so, because Elasticsearch has a very active community. So you can get help from that community. You can get support from that community. It is super easy to use the NoSQL search engine and storage. This Elasticsearch also has APIs. We will quickly go through the pros and cons in Elasticsearch. It has tons of great features. It is super easy to send a search request in the backend language. We can also have separate indices based on the category. This website has amazing, clear, and easy to follow documentation. These are the pros regarding Elasticsearch. Then cons: document upload and storage speed can be very slow. That is the disadvantage regarding Elasticsearch. And we will go through the next tool, that is the final tool that we are going to see in this session. There are so many big data analytical tools are there. But we are go through some 13 tools, 13 important, 13 highly accepted by the tools that are very much accepted by the user. These are the 13 tools which are accepted by the user. So this is the final tool, Lumnify. So if you are on budget and don't have money for subscription license under open source platform, then you go for Lumnify, because Lumnify has some great features. This Lumnify offers graphing in both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional visual modes. This Lumnify comes with a lot of different options that can analyze the data statistically. Okay, so this is one of the wonderful tool for big data analytics. We will quickly go through the pros and cons in Lumnify. So it is a very secure platform. It is easily scalable, and it is compatible with cloud-based option. And the cons is not the best tool you can use for analyzing big data. So for data analytics, it is okay, quite good. But for big data, okay, so it is not the best. There are so many other tools are also there. Okay. So these are some of the important tools which are used in today's market regarding big data. These are some of the very famous tools. So as I said earlier, there are so many big data analytical tools are there. So these are some of the tools, but these are the tools, leading tools, which are used by the users regarding big data analytics. Okay. Then we can quickly go through the key players in big data analytics market. Various companies, key players. Microsoft play a major role. SWAP, SC, Amazon Web Services, Oracle Corporation, SAS Institute, Dell, Altris, Datamere, Looker Data Science, IBM Corporations. So these are all the various companies. They are having their own product regarding big data analytics. So they are the key players regarding big data analytics in the market. Okay. So we will almost come to the end. So this shows the various applications and the skill set required for big data, data science, and data analytics. So according to today's market, the salary package for a big data analytics is much higher. For example, if you take the various application, big data is used in retail, banking, investment, fraud detection, customer-centric application, operational analysis. Where if you want to have a career in the big data, then you should have analytical skill, mathematics and statistics skill. You should familiar with Java or Python programming language, and you should also knowledge about Hadoop. Okay. So data science is a wide where data analytics is a part of data science. Okay. So data science in the sense means it is used in variety of applications such as web development, digital advertisement, e-commerce, internet search, finance, telecom, utilities. So these are all various applications for data science where the skill set required to work in data science project is SAS, R language or Python programming, Hadoop framework, SQL database, analytical skill, statistical skill, mathematical skill, visionary thinking. So these are the skill set a person should have to have a good career in data science. And finally, data analytics. So it is widely used in traveling and transportation, financial analysis, retail, research, energy management, healthcare, where programming skill, communication skill, artificial intelligence skill, and data wrangling skills are required. So for example, if you take Amazon Web Services, so the product analysis regarding product analysis regarding the rating about the product review are all comes under data science, where the delivery sort of things comes under data analytics. Okay, so for your clarification, I am giving this example. I hope that you people enjoyed this session. I hope that you people get some useful information regarding big data analytics. I hope that you people get a clear-cut idea about big data analytics. Hope that the session will be useful for you. Thank you all. Thank you for your patient listening. So thank you for participating in this webinar. I hope that this session will be very useful for you. I hope that you people all enjoy this session. I really like to thank my management, the superiors who gave me this opportunity to conduct this webinar. I hope that this session will be a very useful session for you all. So I request all of you to keep tuned so that we can able to conduct so many webinars like this in the upcoming days. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you.